So the JBN is principally for Jewish business students, but how do you feel that the organisation affects the wider community, even though they're not technically involved in the organisation itself?
Right. So I think that there's only a certain amount of students that you can actually cater to while still serving a purpose and being able to make an impact on. So I think by focusing on a principally Jewish organization, in a sense, is how you put it, we're able to instill everyone here values that they can transfer into the wider world, and they'll take it into their jobs, and hopefully that'll affect other people around them. So I think, to summarize it, everyone here will have an impact on other people in the world, and you can only sort of, maybe one person here will have an impact on 10 other people in the world. Jewish, not Jewish, doesn't really make a difference, right? But here we're catering to a certain group of people that hopefully will transfer those values to the rest of the world.
Thank you. So what were some of the main sort of goals behind the formation of the organisation? What inspired you to start it?
Right, so this actually started back in the summer of 2008, I believe, and so it was myself and two other members. We were on a trip to Poland, actually, and we learned a lot of things about the world in itself. From the events of the Second World War, a lot of terrible things happened, and it basically came down to a lack of values. And 2008 was a funny time in the world because there was a big recession, and you saw people's true colors come out, and their lack of values, and people's big Ponzi schemes, $50 billion, right? And what we really wanted to do is take principles that we can give people values to apply in the business world, because at the end of the day, it's business people that really have a large influence in the world. And if we can change people's values in the business world, then that will have a huge impact everywhere. Businesses are top donors in many organizations, and they help many causes in the world. And if we can instill the owners of those companies to have good values, then hopefully that will transfer and change the world for the better. And that's really what we're about. It's changing the world for the better.
For a non-for-profit organisation, what are some of the main sort of issues that you have around?
Right, to grow the organization.
Yeah.
Right, so I think there's two main issues that we face. I mean, we've only been around for a year and a half, 2 years now, and two of the main issues, especially for a not-for-profit, I'd say one is the ability to raise money. I mean, a lot of companies, corporations, they go out to the public markets, or if they're a private corporation, they have hopefully wealthy investors that go to the banks and lend them money. But for us, it's people that we need to find that believe in what we're doing, believe in our idea, and are able to give us the money to carry out events so we can transfer our goals and principles to the students. The second, on a more operational level, the challenge that we face is how do we grow with the limited resources, right? How do we grow as an organization? We started off in one campus, and this year we're on multiple campuses across Ontario. We're even in Manitoba right now. And how do we manage that growth so that we're able to have an impact on everyone? We have limited resources at the national level, and to be able to go to all these campuses, how do you grow sustainably? You don't want to go onto a campus basically, not have an impact, and then you forever ruin your chances there. So there's a fine line between knowing how to go and finding the right people, which is, I guess, a third point. You want to find the right people to carry out your goals. You want to make sure that their goals align with your goals, and we've had some people where that wasn't the case, and there's been failures along the way. But then we just look for people that have similar goals to us, to our national goals, and we go on from there. So I guess to summarize it, 1 is fundraising, 2 is growing, and 3 is finding the right people. So, as you know, one of the JBN's main principles is to develop leaders and instill values into other students. So, why do you think that's an important aspect?
Right. Well, I think it's a great group. I think it's a great mission to, if you're going to take people that are, let's say, in university, and you develop them, giving them leadership skills, they can then go out and do all the things that other groups are going to be doing. So instead of giving $500 to one person, you can develop many individuals, and each one of them can go out and give $500. Then that's an amazing thing. That's really accomplishing something.
Right, and I'll have a follow-up question.
Sure.
What other leadership things have you been involved in on campus?
Well, I'm from University of Toronto, and one of the big initiatives there was a group, Leaders of Tomorrow, which was taking, let's say, engineers, which are generally looked at as, you know, people technical or maybe working behind a desk, but trying to take it a little bit more and saying that, you know what, there's a very big opportunity for people that are involved in sciences and technology to actually take a leadership edge. And you know, if you can have people that are not just, you know, a lot of our policies are made not necessarily from the people that are doing the sciences, and to develop that, you know, maybe it can bring technology, can bring, you know, people involved in that aspect, and hopefully, you know, be the future leaders.